This is a production of Florida State University.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of FSU Headlines. I'm your host, Mark Vaughn. We're coming to you from the Heritage Museum here in Dodd Hall at Florida State University. And this is where we had a sit-down interview with FSU's president, John Thrasher, as he nears retirement. We talked about a host of topics, including what made this the best job of his life. And now we're joined by Mr. John Thrasher, the president of Florida State University. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mark. Great to be here with you, and thanks for so many of these great interviews. I've thoroughly enjoyed them over the last 7 years, and looking forward to the next chapter in our life, and my wife and I, and certainly appreciate all of you all have done for us during this time.
Thank you, President Thrasher. So I'll start off with maybe the simplest question, if you will. How was your time as the 15th president of Florida State?
Well, first of all, I'm going to try not to get too emotional because I love Florida State University. Gene and I both do. And to say, you go through ups and downs. You've had all kind of different things that happen. As you well know, you've covered them all. But the overall experience has been the best experience of my life in terms of professional life. The people we've met, the students we've met, the faculty we've met, our staff, and certainly the alumni have been just so supportive during the time we've been here. So I'm very grateful for that. And, I came here with kind of an agenda, hoping to make certain things happen during the time we were here. I think we've accomplished a lot of that. I think we're leaving in place a little bit better than we found it. And that's not a criticism of anybody in the past. It's just that we built on their success. And I know the next president will do the same for us. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about our next chapter and what it holds for Gene and I and our family. And but I could not be prouder of being the 15th president of Florida State University.
What do you think was the key to being successful as president here at FSU? Well,
success is a relevant term, as we all know. We have different degrees of it, but whatever success we've had, it's certainly not about John Thrasher. It may have been about a vision I had when I came here, but it's all due to the incredible staff that we've had implement that vision and work every single day as hard as they could to make it happen, along with the faculty. Somehow we have managed to generate a reputation where the number of students who want to come here has increased every single year. Even in the COVID crisis, we've had an incredible number of students who want to come here. All of those things together with the support of the legislature, frankly, has been part of everything we've done. They have challenged us with certain metrics that they wanted us to accomplish. Those are things that I think have all gone to basically student success. We've been successful there. But I go back and say none of it would happen if an individual by himself or herself. It all happens because we have a team pulling together for the same goals and the same things that we want to happen for the good of the university and the good of the students who come here. And faculties may have been a big part of that also.
That leads me into my next question perfectly. Thank you very much. Why, in your lifetime and in your career, your professional life, why was it so important for higher education to be a big part of what you did and now the hallmark here as president?
Well, I go back to when I came to Florida State. I came here when I was 17 years old and really not knowing a lot, not being a very good student, certainly not having the background. Both of my parents, neither went past the 8th grade. So to get here and to get an education and to finish was an incredible accomplishment for me, at least in my life. And I realized, at that point in time, I think I went into the military and then came back to law school here. I realized what an opportunity that was for me and how many doors then it opened. As I got further into my life and my career, I realized that none of that would have happened but for the opportunity to come to Florida State. And I cherish that. I never will forget it, and it is so meaningful to me and everything else I did. Certainly being president of Florida State was never something I ever thought about when I was younger. But again, the foundation that this university gave me to do that was why I'm here today.
Is that what you wanted other students to have and experience?
Sure. I mean, every young person that comes here, in my opinion, and that's what I tried to say to a lot of different times that you and I have talked and others. I want them to have the same opportunities I had, regardless of their background, economic background, race, culture, whatever. We want them to have the same opportunity. If they're coming to Florida State, I want them to be successful. And that was our motivation to make this university that kind of place where everybody who comes here has the same opportunity, the same benefit to do what really happened to me and so many others who've been here. And I think we've been successful in that also. I think we're graduating young people who go out into the world and are making a difference in so many different fields. And that, to me, is what this university ought to be about. One
of the hallmarks of your presidency has been a ginormous, I don't know if that's a word, but a huge rise in the rankings.
Yeah.
And I know that was a goal of yours to be, I think initially the top 25, then the top 20, and all the way up to number 18. Do you think that is probably the biggest accomplishment?
It is. It's a major accomplishment. But again, I go back to it's a number, and a number is reflective, in my opinion, of what we do at Florida State. I think we were already really good, but we certainly, during the time I've been here, focused on the things that would even make us better. Being in the top 20 was certainly not my original goal. It was being in the top 25. You know, thought we could get there in 5 years if we really focused on the things that matter. We did better than that. But so what we've done is, I think, reflective of the goodness of this university, the quality of it, the quality of our students. Going back again, the faculty, the kind of programs we have. We've added some new programs since I've been here. All of those things, I think, have made a difference in the reputation of Florida State. We used to be known as probably more so of an athletic university and greatness in that regard. Today we're known as both. We're both known as a great athletic university for so many different sports, men's and women's, and but we're also known now for our academics. We passed a lot of schools that were ahead of us in different aspects, and that's not a reflection on they're not doing good, but it's a reflection on the greatness of Florida State and the quality that we have here all around, from our programs, our faculty, and the great students that we're attracting. So it's a number, it's an important number. It's reflective again, I think, in the legislature. It's reflective again in the resources that we're given. It's reflective of our reputation around the country. All of those things matter. And now we're at a level, and I hope the next president, I know he will focus on the things that will make us even better and build on what we've done here.
Thank you, President Thrasher. We're going to take a brief break, but we're not done asking President Thrasher some questions. We'll be back in just a moment.
At Florida State University, we're proving that students from all walks of life can achieve at the highest levels. We're proving that intellect, creativity, service, and daring matter. We're proving the next generation can do more than dream of a better world. They can make it happen. We are Florida State University.
All right, well, welcome back to FSU Headlines. President Thrasher, thank you for joining us. I think we'll start off by asking you a very important question. As a president, you always have to be really on call and prepared for whatever comes. And there have been some tough moments during your presidency. For you, what was the most important thing during any one of those times, from hurricanes to the unfortunate passing of students?
Yeah, we've had a bunch of things like that. You know, you come to work every day and you prepare for the normal things that go on in a university, and then all of a sudden you have something like a hurricane or something like a death of a student in a fraternity hazing issue that we had. You know, the biggest thing you can do in that regard is communications. We have to communicate with all the stakeholders, let them know what went on, what's happening. Certainly in a hurricane situation, we've got families to communicate with, students to communicate with, all the kinds of preparation you do. Our Emergency Operations Center, our police, the Office of the Governor, in terms of how they're managing all of these things. Those are huge things, and our staff just is remarkable when it comes to that. But communications is really the biggest thing. I mean, making sure families understand what we're doing, why certain things happen, being transparent, all of those things matter. And I think, again, our communications team has been superb in that regard. And I feel like it's made a difference in the outcome of all these issues. They're never easy. They're never easy. And you never know exactly which way to turn some days, and given where we are. But certainly communications with stakeholders, all of them make a difference.
I know in a lot of those incidents that you really were not just the president, but you were the face of the university community, the students, the faculty and staff. And I know personally, I heard from a lot of people that they felt comfort having you in charge during those times. I guess when you hear something like that, how does it make you feel?
I feel like it's part of my job, but I also feel the empathy with the people who've been hurt by certain circumstances. And I think it is my job to reach out, to let them know the university cares, let them know our family is there to support them. Good times and bad times. We like to celebrate the great things that go on, but we also have to be prepared to understand that there are going to be moments when tragedies occur. We've had some deaths, obviously, of our students. Their families are impacted by that. The university's impacted by that. It's the job of the president to be available to make sure that we're doing the right things to support them in that regard. So I'm really the face, but so many, again, as I say, in everything, it's not about John Thrasher, it's about all the support that we give to our students and our families in those kinds of situations.
Now, obviously, you're a family man. You've been married for a long time to Mrs. Thrasher. You have children, grandchildren. Do you think that added to the empathy that you talked about with all of these students and even your grand?
Well, I had two grandkids here when I was here. Certainly my granddaughter who just got her master's and my grandson who's still matriculating through. But I hear from them, certainly understand a little bit more about what went on in their lives and the reflection that they would give me about things that we were doing and maybe needed to do better in a lot of ways. So, yeah, to have them here was remarkable. Ashley and Will and Ashley's husband, now Matt, who's in our medical school, been a source of great pride to me. My grandson Will also, and I've got 6 other grandkids. I don't know whether they'll be here or not in the future, but many of them care about Florida State, and got a couple of them coming to camps this summer, and looking forward to seeing that. But the ability to identify with students is so important in this job. I mean, to reach out, to touch them, to have them know who you are a little bit. You can't know all of them, obviously. There's just too many and too many other things going on. But you can certainly make yourself available at different organizations, different places, so that they hear from you, they know about you, and they recognize that you care about them. And that's part of it. Again, part of this, I think, important part of this job is that identity between the president and the students, to let them know that the president cares about them. The president wants them to be successful, as does our entire university. So that's a big part of what we do.
Okay, President Thrasher, so the next question that leads me into that, what do you think, or what would you like the students, particularly the students, to remember about you as their president?
Memories are short, so I realize that, and I don't really reflect on that. Or when I leave, I'll leave, and the new president will come in. If anybody cares, and they do care. I think some of them do. Is that I cared about them? I mean, that to me is what it's about. We had, just recently we had 11 graduations for our class of 2021. We brought back our class of 2020 who were unfortunately not able to have a graduation. We had over 2,000 come back for that. That's about caring. It's about not so much me, but it's about our university, who knows that these students worked hard. They deserved that opportunity to have their graduation, and we wanted to do everything we could. So I guess it symbolizes the fact that Florida State is a family. We say that, we say it, a lot of people say it, but we acted. I think we acted out as a family, and I think most of the families who've sent their students here, their kids here, understand that we do care. And that's if I have any kind of a legacy at all, it's that we cared about them and we did everything we could to make them successful.
That's great. We have a couple of more questions. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute to ask President Thrasher about some of the events that he enjoyed the most, because we did see him at a lot.
When you buy a Florida State University license plate,
you're not just showing your school spirit.
You're supporting students like us.
In the lab,
in the classroom,
and in the library.
Putting this tag on your vehicle helps Florida State students achieve their dreams. So show your pride. Purchase an FSU license plate today.
All right, welcome back to FSU Headlines. President Thrasher, thank you for sitting with us and having a chat to reflect sort of on your time here at FSU. And that leads me into the next part. You've always talked about this being the best job you've ever had. What made it the best job now that you're able to look back on everything you've done?
You know, Mark, it's not maybe one thing so much, but it's just the relationships you build here. You know, you're here every single day. It is a demanding job. Some people say 24/7. It's overused in my opinion, but this job is close to that, I'll tell you that. But the time you spend is with students, with faculty, with alumni, with people who are passionate and care about this university. So it's a rewarding thing to do that. It gives me the energy to do it. I started this job when I was 70 years old. Not many probably presidents have done that at this level. But being around those folks have given me the energy to really try to do the best I can and to get up every day caring about Florida State University. There have been so many wonderful experiences. I mean, you start with the students. You think about dance marathon and all the students coming for a whole weekend and staying up all night and dancing for a charity, something that they're giving back to that. You know, the athletic teams that we had at Florida State, football, basketball, our soccer team, our softball team, our track and golf, all of those, are just incredible people. And I've had, because I love sports, I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of them from our football teams. I never will forget my first year here going to the Rose Bowl. My goodness, that was the most exciting experience. And now to make it full circle, our softball young women are now playing tonight for the national championship in softball, and would be the second one since I've been here. Our soccer team has won twice the national championship, almost won again this year. So many good things. Leonard Hamilton, who I love dearly, has had so much success. And the wonderful thing about it is our student athletes are really the ones that are leaders on campus. They're graduating at high levels. They're going on to other things. They realize that professional athletes are not necessarily all in their future. So many of them have graduated and are doing wonderful things now. So I look back on those experiences and really those relationships that you make with students generally. We've had some issues with fraternities, no question about it. But I will tell you, some of our fraternities produce some of the best leaders on campus, and they go out and do wonderful things. I just got great anticipation and great hope that our country will really be well served if we will continue to do the kind of things we're doing by graduating these young people and giving them an opportunity to make a difference in the world. And so many of them have already. So those are rewarding things. They're not personal with me so much, but they're what the university reflects. But there's so many of them that I care about, I love, I've gotten to know, and I'll miss that part of it, I promise you that. But I'll also look back and say, we did it the right way, I think, and did it the best way for those students.
You talked about the rise in the rankings and other great moments that Florida State has had while you're president, but you also mentioned that you were able to build on what past presidents did. How important was it? I know some of them are no longer with us, but how important was it to get advice, mentorship from, I know you knew a lot of the presidents here before you took this job, and how much did that help you?
Well, I was in the Senate when Dr. Eric Barron was here before he left to go to Penn State, so I got to know him very well. Really respected him, what he accomplished, the kind of things he did. Before that, T.K. Weatherall, I actually was part of the search committee that helped hire him. I was the chairman of the board of trustees then. Sandy Dallenberg, who's a longtime personal friend, going way back, and who I admired from his legal ability. I barely knew, didn't know Dale Lick that well, but I've got to know him since he's been here, and he's still here. And of course, Bernie Sliger is back to, I knew him also, a great president. Every one of these presidents, you know, you can go back to, all the way back to how far you want to go, it just depends. Every one of them built on the success of the other. And for Florida State to be where it is today, every one of them have mattered. Every one of them have made a difference. And I'd say something else too about the support you get in this job, and it comes from the First Ladies. And I'm blessed to have one, the best, I think. And not that the others weren't good, but Jean has been remarkable, and she's done a great job. The kids all know her. They call her Gigi. They admire her. She looks after them, you know, and I think where she can makes a difference in a lot of their lives. But you can't do this job unless you have that kind of support also. And I'm very appreciative of what she's done for Florida State.
When we talk about you, pretty much everyone talks about Gigi, and she really does make you call her that as her grandmother name, she told me one time. And she has been such a large part of the success of this university, being there, and pretty much every event you see her if you're there. So I guess for you, what do you want everyone to remember about Mrs. Thrasher and her time as the First Lady?
Well, she's loved the job. She's, you know, she didn't come here with an agenda, you know, I'm going to do this or concentrate on this. She came here to be a friend to the students, to hopefully relate to the faculty, to try to be a part of the university in every way she could. And I think she's done that. I think you said it right. Very rarely do I go to any event that she's not with me. And she's been very supportive, getting to know. And I'd say the other thing is in the Tallahassee community, which is so important in terms of that relationship, she has really reached out and I think made a difference in meeting so many of the community leaders and their families and knowing them and being an ambassador for Florida State. So I think she'll be remembered fondly, and I'm very appreciative of what she's accomplished.
Obviously, you have plans for your future once you're officially retired with your family and friends and all those things. But before we let you go, talk to me about what you hope for Florida State and their future.
Well, I hope for continued success. I think we're a great university now. We're an elite university. I say that at graduations, that you're graduating from an elite university. We're getting some of the best students in the country to come to Florida State. All of those things are very positive. I'm positive the next president will build on that. I've gotten to know him already. I really admire him. I think he's going to do a great job and for us, Dr. McCullough. And I just have great hope and great optimism for the future of Florida State. And wherever I could continue to be supportive, I'll be supportive. I promise you that, because I love this place. It's done so much for me, as I said, but it's continuing to do good things for the young people who come here, and that's what we're about.
Last two things I have for you, President Thrasher. How long will you wait before you sort of reflect, or will you just take some time, maybe a year or two, to just rest?
No, I think Gene and I want to take a little time off. We don't have a time schedule so much as that we know that we both need a little break from the activities that have been going on the last 7 years almost, and we'll just see how it goes. But obviously, we want to spend time with our family, our grandkids, and do things that we have probably put off doing for each other, for whether it's travel or just hanging out together, that sort of thing. But anyway, we're looking forward to it. We're both optimistic about it. We appreciate the good Lord and the health He's given us, and we're looking forward to the next chapter.
All right, President Thrasher, to end things here in this interview, I'd like to give you a moment just to talk to the FSU community. What would you like to tell everyone, obviously here at FSU in Tallahassee, but really people all over the world that love this university, have graduated from here? What would you like to say to them?
Probably the best thing I could do is to say thank you. Thank you for the support from our alumni, from the faculty. Faculty, some of them probably weren't as enamored with me when I first got here, but we've made some great relationships over this period of time. I think I've tried to be supportive of their agendas and their success. Certainly to our students, I give them all the credit because they come here really with the desire to be at Florida State and make a difference. And then certainly not last or least, but to my team that's been here to support me every single day. They're remarkable. I could never have been successful without them, or we couldn't have done things we've done without them. Every single one of them have made a difference, and they're all friends now. They're all friends. They're co-workers and friends. I don't look at it as they work for me. I look at it that we're all part of a team that cares about Florida State University. So when you add all of that up, and then you look at the community, you look at all the folks that love this university, that's what makes it go. That's what makes it go. And again, I've been blessed to have this job and been blessed to be the 15th president of Florida State University.
Thank you very much, President Thrasher. We appreciate your time, and good luck to you and Gigi in your retirement.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
That's going to do it for this special edition of FSU Headlines, but remember, you can keep up with all things FSU on news.fsu.edu. For everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Mark Vaughn. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.